Creator of all that is, ubiquitous, encompassing, profound. Tuning into this energy of the divine is humbling and empowering all at once. That is one of the mysteries, the minuscule and the majuscule. Our part right here, right now, is why we are here, why we are tuning in. We are our purpose. Consider no predator and no prey, just us awash in divine energy with all its movement and play. When we do this, there is peace within. When there is peace within, there is gratitude. Where there is gratitude, there is clarity and direction that we are here to take responsibility. Now that we know who we are of source, of creator energy, and so it is.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I'm talking to you about July 21st, 10:30 a.m. on the plaza in front of the State House, Salem. We're going to be meeting there. Caveat to will, probate in open court. Our Article 3, Amendment 7, Civilian Common Law Court of Record that we've had going on Oregon since 2018 will have subpoenaed various departments in the state of Oregon to provide their bona fides. They make claims, and it's now time to prove those claims in open court, an Article 3, Amendment 7 Civilian Common Law Court of Record. Then we'll make some decisions. With the input from all those that testify, those that come because of a subpoena or don't come because of a subpoena, it'll be up to them. If they refuse to come and bring their documents to prove their point, to provide proof of the claims they make, Article 7 amended is legit. We say it is not, it is bogus, and they have no proof. And we'll see if they arrive with proof. We'll see if they even arrive. We've invited Tobias Reed and his number 2, Mike Kaplan. That's the closest thing that we have to anybody in the state of Oregon governance that might be legit. We know that the governor's office under Kate and Tina is not legit. They're both convicted criminals. They have no honor. They can't hold a position of trust. 89 out of the 90 legislators can't. So, step by step, we've brought them to this point. We've brought ourselves to this point. We've brought Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution, the Social Compact, the provisional government on Oregon, is going to hold open court on the plaza, 10:30, July 21st, 2025. And I yield.
My name is Brandon Wingerter. I am Deputy Clerk of Court on Marion County for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, Article 3, Amendment 7, Civilian Court of Record. Sheriffs, one and all, the ball is in your court. We kicked it into your jurisdiction, which is separate from ours, alas. It really is one team, you and us. It is, or rather should be, one jurisdiction. Your training, probably from childhood, has been put to join the realm of the corporate jurisdiction, which is the entity that pays you to do what you do. You can join our team, that of the people, with a simple turn of a mind switch. A tool to assist in this process is to consider taking a proper oath to the proper Constitution with its original jurisdiction and with the laws of nature and of nature's God, as stated in our unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. The last several months, we have posted and made publicly available that we consider a proper oath for the persons in our governance sheriffs are our first effort at insisting on a proper oath. For it is the sheriffs who are in their county position to protect and defend the people from ticketing or sending people to the illegitimate, amended Article 7 courts that should not be, from governance overreach and taxation that takes seniors' equity, their forever home and all they possess by enforcing convictions. It's like a shift in the mind. It is the recognition of one's allegiance to life and that which is God-given. Rather than criminalizing living God-made beings for a dead corporate entity, our sheriffs are our first protection against governance overreach. Taking a solemn oath is needed for there to be remedy in our authoritative system of governance. Once a sheriff cognizes the importance of the proper oath, they can see themselves as one of the people or one with the people, rather than a corporate entity meant to enforce our compliance to the bidding of the state. Therein is offered greater freedom, cooperation, and peace in all our dealings. Let it be so.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I'm going to ask William to run this at 1.25 and maybe I'll quicken it up. This is to Oregon. Take heed, State of Oregon, aka all caps State of Oregon, agents and assigns. People are going to do whatever they may do in a specific hierarchy. When all the levers of power from the Salem oligarchy are operated by rugby players, the outcome would be different if the players were soccer players, footballers, tennis, anyone. The hierarchy in this cause is Article 1, Section 1. The Jural Social Compact, our provisional government on Oregon, without rebuttal from 36 sheriffs, 38 prosecutors, the Oregon Department of Justice, Attorney General, Department of Corrections, Oregon State Police, 89 legislators, 2 governors, 2 senators, 1 House rep, the U.S. DOJ downtown Portland, the U.S. Marshal Service, same place, the FBI out at their headquarters, the Department of Homeland Security downtown, GSA downtown, and the U.S. Marine Corps, the U.S. Post Office, the U.S. Coast Guard, SCOTUS, the U.S. Court of International Trade, and the U.S. State Department. For the last 7 years, natural rights inherent in people, we declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. Those that see this, take note. We are fortunate when we can think and act in an honorable fashion. If it is not honorable, at least not dishonorable, tell the truth, at least don't lie. Don't compromise with de facto. It is illegal or illegitimate. Cooperate with all lawful ORS, Oregon Revised Statutes. Look to enforce the good ones, like 5 years of constitutional education starting no later than the 8th grade, or ORS 206. When the good, bold, underline, de facto is found, look for a jure replacement. When an unlawful one is found, nullify it. A good one. Letting the females vote. That was a good one, maybe. And bad ones? When they stopped teaching the Constitution and how we were supposed to govern ourselves. And then we got this, thanks to the Oregon State Bar, or the American Bar, or the British Accreditation Registry. When an unlawful one is found, nullify it, such as the law they passed to exonerate the Oregon State Police for the murder of Robert Lavoy Finicum. Wasn't their fault. Many of us see this as a wonderful opportunity for a start over. From this moment on, no more lying, cheating, or stealing. Just quit that. And do not abide those that do it. It's a mindset. And the 4 agreements, they're really good. When you cannot do it, and do it the right way, then leave. Resign. Find another function. Go do that some other place where it might be acceptable. Each adult is required to comprehend the basic minimums or pass on voting or holding a position of trust. They would not comprehend trust and honor. Pragmatic persons are here also. Others are here. Here is number 1, Oregon's Constitution circa 1859. 2, the United States of America's Constitution 1859. 3, Bouvier's Law Dictionary 6th edition 1856. That's governing law and a dictionary for definitions. With that, we ought to be able to work it out. Only 11 out of the 36 sheriffs demonstrated a pushback on the Salem Brown Kotek oligarchy. Each of you will abide by ORS 206, even unto county removing you from office. Sam is first in line on that. Self-correct, Sam. Really. Get right with it. It's not that difficult. Yamhill knows that Article 7 amended is bogus. They did not honor a writ of habeas corpus and the huge due process violations. Sam does not have his bona fides in order at this time, June 2025. Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas, Marion, Lynn, Lane, Douglas, and so forth are vying for next in line, as they and others are equal in time. Several offices of sheriff and Oregon State Police have papers filed and a court award. They are also without bona fides. How in the hell did it ever get this way? The Oregon Department of Corrections has failed on a writ of habeas corpus. They have a de facto Article 7 amended mindset, soon to become accessories after the fact, and joined the executive Brown and Kotek, legislative 89 out of 90, and the judiciary that acquiesced and defaulted November 2022, bringing us to the Oregon National Guard and Oregon State Police. Our National Guard General and the Superintendent of the Oregon State Police are without proper bona fides, as they were both appointed by TINA. A Deputy DA, Sheriff, Secretary of State are without proper bona fides if the principal in the violation of our Constitution. A Deputy DA, Deputy Sheriff, or Deputy Secretary of State are without proper bona fides if the principal of that office is in violation of our constitutions. Correct. ORS, DPSST, Original Jurisdiction Article 7, County Requirements, Oath and Bondability, the laws of nature and nature's God included. Those that see this take note.
Patrick Wood, who's based in Mesa, Arizona, he's been following the technocrats who now run our society. Technocrats are people who have no compassion, no feeling. They've been termed as psychopaths, and that's how they're taking over our society so easily and so efficiently. Patrick Wood started this group up, and it's now all over the states with tens of thousands of members, and we have a meetup by Zoom every other Wednesday. And but despite all his efforts, the free speech has been disappearing from our society, as you will know. That's in the First Amendment. It was put as the First Amendment because it is the most important. Without free speech, without free thinking, which is not possible under the communist regimes, without a free press, without a free religion, then there is no free society. And the Second Amendment is the right to guns. And that was put there intentionally because it's only a society that owns guns that can actually defend and protect the First Amendment. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were all listening as well. So the First Amendment is the most important. Free speech, free religion, free press, access to your legislators. And the Second Amendment is hugely important because that was put as number 2, as I've just said, to protect the First Amendment. So the First Amendment is really, really important. We meet up, as I've said, by Zoom every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, and the membership is growing exponentially. The other thing that really concerns me is the assassination on our children. at the moment. I mean, this is hugely worrying, and I think it doesn't take place nearly to the degree that it is taking place in the States. I don't think this happens quite so much in the rest of Europe. And I just heard a speech given by some of the members of the European Parliament. I just listened to it last night. And the European Parliament is now doing a U-turn, and more of the MEPs, that's members of the European Parliament, are stepping up and talking about the criminality of the vaccines. So it's our children, which seem to be particularly targeted in the United States, that are really at high risk. So many children are, I don't know if they're dying, but they're certainly being dreadfully affected. I've seen one girl of 13 in a wheelchair. She's almost a paraplegic. So these are the things we have to fight for, and I think the only thing we can fight, the only way we can fight effectively is to join organisations, and then actually for these organisations like us, Charlie's and CFFS, is to join together so that we can then have some huge demonstrations, as they have been having in the UK. I don't know if you've seen the latest demonstration in London, but there were tens of thousands of people. They were very, very vociferous and emphatic about what they stand for. So it is happening in other countries, but we haven't seen it happening very much in here, except perhaps in New York, where the health workers have been coming out. The injuries from the vaccinations, all this sort of thing was supposed to be taken care of in the Nuremberg Code, which was established in 1948, and it is a code that's has been honoured up to today by all the nations of the world. But today, the Nuremberg Code doesn't seem to have any place in any parliament's principles. It seems to have gone. And those doctors and scientists in Germany at that time were given relatively light sentences. And then, I don't know if you've researched it all, they came over to America under Operation Paperclip, and they were given jobs in the pharmaceutical industry. So that indicates to anybody who's awake that the pharmaceutical industry has been run by Nazis ever since the 1950s. And this, what we're seeing now, is the dream of those Nazis coming true. This is exactly what they wanted. And I think they've got even more than they planned for, because now we're going in for population control to a huge degree. I think Bill Gates, his aim was to have it down to 95% of the current population. So there's only going to be 5 to 10% of us human beings left. What we're supplemented with, these AI human beings, I don't know how many of them there'll be around. So I think Charlie does wonderful work, her organisation does fantastic work. I think my organisation, CFFS, I've got some literature over there, does wonderful work as well. So thank you everybody, and it's wonderful of you to turn up, and I think Charlie's agitating a bit and wants me to close off. So I'm very happy to do that.
Out in the physical. We can continue to Zoom. I have weekly Zooms, or try to, with my classmates, and I'll get a little bit into who I am and what I do at NUNM and what's going on there, because that's kind of my little microcosm of an ecosystem of what's going on. And we all have that. Be it we have to quit our jobs, or our students, we have to pull them from public schools. We're all fighting that individual fight on a small scale, but that funnels into why we are all here today. And as you can already tell, we have folks in politics, we have folks in sort of the legal avenue, we have folks in medicine as well, like myself, and all of these are coming together. What's going on right now with COVID is the wheelhouse of all of us, and especially those in medicine, because it's dealing with a so-called virus, we'll say. But with that, I just wanted to say thank you all for showing up. And if you didn't know, a little while ago, we actually had an eagle fly over, and I just went to use the restroom over at the public restroom here, and I ran into one of my teachers from school that's retired and kind of left for all the craziness going on. And he said, what are you doing here? Are you passing through for traveling? I said, no, I'm speaking at the rest stop. And it kind of looked like, okay, so I'm not sure if he saw what's going on over here, but maybe he thinks I'm over here speaking to myself and amongst the trees, but we do have a nice group here. Before I kind of share with you what's going on at NUNM, I want to share a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And if folks aren't familiar with who that is, that's the author of the Gulag Archipelago. He's a wonderful book. I really suggest reading it because we know about communism in China and we know about Soviet Russia and all that. But the plan in place of what's going on right now is remarkably similar to the Bolshevik Revolution and what they did to the kulaks and everything in Russia. And a lot of that was sort of class warfare and putting people against each other, manufacturing these, what we might call nowadays as sort of psyops, or this idea that there's so much division and really it's manufactured. But I want to share this quote with you, and this again is a big thankfulness to why everyone is here today. And that's the simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the whole world, and that is what he found. Being a Gulag prisoner and going through just that horrendous time in history during Soviet Russia. But anyways, I'm a student at NUNM. I'm from Kentucky, if you hear the accent pop through. I came out here for school, specifically for school. When I was a young man, I knew this is what I wanted to do. From a very young age, I was involved in Chinese martial arts, and that had a lot to do with mind, body, spirit. And I knew as well, sort of innately in my heart, that there was something deeply wrong with the way medicine was practiced. And that was my entryway into what is going on, and that is the deep deception that we are all very well aware of now. Because if one positive came out of COVID, it's that it's waking some people up, right? Hopefully there's far more than we think, and I think that's a divisionary tactic as well. They do that to me at my school. They do that to us. You know, you're the only one unvaccinated. You're the only one this and that. But, you know, I think this is a small sample size of how many there are that are awake to what's going on. But at NUNM, National University of Natural Medicine, and that's important because we think natural medicine, oh my goodness, what our savior and what's going on right now, and that truly is the case. We find that pharma continues to fail and continues to bring harm to us, and now they're going after the kids. But at my school of natural medicine, which sort of supports itself as the top natural medicine school, one of the oldest in the U.S., right? Naturopathic medicine, Chinese medicine, all of these, they mandate the vaccine.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying, and then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up.
And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I fought. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, shot him 3 more times.